would have had like, 2, 3 kids. But since I wasn't really born in that era, in that kind of era, to where, marriage was more like appreciated, and, people were getting married like left and right, and, like they just, they're living their lives according to like, who they solely got married to. Maybe then it would have been different for me if I was back in that timeline, but, now that I'm here now in this timeline, like, that provider male, like it didn't really happen for me. It didn't happen for me this time, so I'm thinking like maybe back then I would have considered having birth children, but since it didn't work out for me that way, now I'm considering like other alternatives, such as like adopting a kid, and being happy with that. If my significant other doesn't mind adopting a little kiddo, then I would be more than happy to, and then just trying to be a mother to that child. But, since I'm in a totally different timeline now, it just totally didn't happen for me that way. And I have to say this as a starseed female and living in 2023 as a 35-year-old. Like I have to state this in a recording because I mainly and solely have to do this for myself, because it's just further documenting like, like how I'm feeling, like what I'm thinking, and like how this whole thing like just might play out, because yeah, and I find myself thinking about the whole kid thing like every day now. Like it's getting stronger, but like realistically it's like maybe I'm not gonna go through with doing the whole pregnant thing with somebody, because like I don't want to put my body through all that. Like I feel like I'm too frail, or maybe even too weak to even try to do that. So I'm gonna try and live my life through like, the alternative way, instead of like what most of the population is doing, because I don't know. It's just how I am, I guess. I'm not sure. I must just be that rare breed of female who just, who thinks about everything, and, it's just, it's weird. It's weird. But I feel like I had to go through with this recording, but this might be broken up into a part if it's way too long. Oh, okay, well yeah, it's been 30 minutes already. So, oh yeah. So as a starseed female, as an empath, like life is just totally different now. Like maybe if it was at a later time date, I would have had like a full family already, but it just didn't happen for me like that way this time. And I have to state this in a recording. So like I feel like I feel like if I was in a later timeline, and that provider male would have come along and like tried to like marry me and stuff, we would have got married and stuff, had the ceremony and all that. But, me just not finding that provider male, it just didn't happen for me. Maybe back then I would have considered having like birth children, but it's like now that I feel like I kind of missed that opportunity, or I just didn't meet the right person or something. I don't know, like it didn't happen for me. So I'm not really considering having any birth children now at this point in time. And that's okay, because I heard from RFG Chosen Ones, one of his other videos, that he said if you choose to procreate and have a child, like you're basically like hexing that child into coming into a physical body, into this existence, into this matrix, into the system that that people just want to just keep going with it. People just want to keep going with this matrix without any kind of like pushback, or because people are going through this life thinking that nothing is going wrong. And this is the truth. People are going through this life thinking that nothing is wrong, when clearly there is a lot going wrong. We're just not within that collective state yet to really come together. And truly, I think the freaking Americas, I think the United States people are going to be the last people to freaking come together when all this stuff goes down. Like, seriously. Like, the U.S. is going to be the last. The U.S. is going to be the last to think that we should come together as a collective to bring down this system to where, like, it's like people claim, like, they just say what they want to say, and it's just like people claim that they're so unhappy, right? People on social media, like, do they whine and complain about being unhappy about, like, what they're currently living and like how they're currently living? It's like, yeah, all the time. It's like, so why do we procrastinate about about being a collective and doing this whole thing when nobody's doing anything about it? Is what I'm saying. So people are people in the end, people are just big hypocrites. Like they're just like they're just, I don't know. Like people are just, they're just the biggest hypocrites. Like when they say one thing and then they say they're going to do something about it when really they're not. So really, the United States is going to be the last to come together as a collective against this whole thing that's like keeping us boxed in, keeping us in this small mind state when we really don't have to be. It's just people choose to be because they don't know any better, But anyways, I'm gonna end it here, and hopefully not like a 2-part video. But if it's 2 parts, I'll upload it anyway. And then I'll just say it's like part 1 or part 2.